This video is about the great things about being a failure. There are 4 surprising benefits to actually being a failure and experiencing rejection in your life. To find out what those benefits are, please stay tuned to this video. Welcome to the SCG Show, the home of education entertainment, and please do me a favor, if you really enjoyed this video, smash that like button. I would really appreciate it. What is a failure? According to Google, it's lack of success. So therefore, success is subject to every single person. To some, success may be working a steady job, having a roof over their heads, being enough to pay the bills. Nothing wrong with that. To others, it may be a mansion with 7 bedrooms, sports cars, lavish lifestyles. It's subjective to every person. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why on earth would I want to be a failure? I'm not suggesting you should become a failure, nor do I want you to become a failure. Absolutely not. But there are actually some very great things about failing in life. And there are great things in getting rejected too. From a young age, I've been rejected in so many different ways. I've been rejected in school, business, romantically, life, socially, you name it. I have failed in business, relationships, academically, projects, even the simplest of tasks. And now as a man in my 30s, I realized it was nowhere near as bad as I assumed at the time. You see, failure, you've been lied to, is a part of life. But what is true failure? True failure is completely giving up, admitting to never finding love again after a bad breakup, or never trying another business after going bankrupt, or never applying for another job after getting fired or not passing the interview, throwing in the towel at the first sign or first several signs of adversity. That, my friend, is true failure, and it's ugly. It's metaphorically sinking instead of swimming in life. Edison failed 10,000 times until he invented the light bulb. Michael Jordan missed thousands of shots and failed his way to success in basketball. Some of the wealthiest people on the planet have been bankrupt several times. So, you're in good company. Approach this subject with an open mind. Failure is not a bad thing. There's several reasons why it can actually be great for you. Life's always teaching us lessons. That's the truth. It's not wishful thinking or delusional thinking. There is a lesson in absolutely everything, especially in failure. I lost the publishing business a few years back, and I felt obviously like a complete failure. It was awful. I was depressed. But looking back now and picking myself up into new ventures, such as this YouTube channel, it was obviously the right thing. When I closed my former business, I wrote myself a letter, which I just discovered in my office when I came up with the idea for this video. And it read, "This chapter has closed. You did really well to build this up from nothing. You learned so much about yourself and business along the way. Don't worry, you're going to find your next calling." It took me a while, and I eventually did. The same goes for a toxic relationship I was in for several years. I was devastated, it had to end. There was no sign of it improving. I was miserable and so unhappy. People around me said, "How did you mess it up? How have you failed in love?" I no longer associate with such people who talk such crap. However, over time I realized I was glad to have a toxic relationship, because moving forward, I know exactly what I don't want in a future partner. What I don't want in a relationship, and that my future partner I will probably appreciate and love more, as I've learned from my experience of the failure of the previous relationship. So do you see my point? A great tip as well is to make up lessons as well if you can't see them. And talk to wise and genuine people about your failures. You may hear a line like, "Oh, well, it wasn't meant to be." Yes, a very cliche response, but true. If you fast forward 2 years after a messy breakup, yeah, it wasn't meant to be. And I've become a better person because of that messy breakup. There are always lessons in every single rejection and failure. Try to learn them and try to remember them moving forward the best you can. Are you enjoying this video? If you are, please hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. Resilience can be born from failure, and pain can become an old friend of yours as well. A man I know used to have a crippling fear of women. Couldn't make eye contact, let alone talk to them. I get terrified, he would say. He would be slightly better with online dating until they would meet him in person. All his dates would reject him and say the following: "Oh, you're a nice guy, just not what I'm looking for," or "We're just not a good match," or "I just don't see this going anywhere." Then one day the penny dropped for him. "I have to stare my rejection in the face," he admitted. If you stare long enough into the abyss, eventually it's going to stare back at you. So he spent a day going into central London, asking out randomly wherever he could over 100 women. He approached them on the street and started talking. By the 100th woman he approached, he was a natural. "The more I went, the more confident and resilient I built up," he said. Fast forward a few years later, he is now settled down with a lovely woman who adores him. In fact, his partner describes him as the most confident man I've ever seen. Resilience is indeed built from rejection. The world is a cruel, nasty place. No matter how tough we are, it will beat us to our knees if we allow it to. But as Rocky said, it's not about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. Giving up is easy, and if you do what's easy, your life is going to be really difficult. But if you do what is hard regularly, your life's going to get easier. So keep plugging away. Keep showing up. Keep doing the work. Keep going. All of this is synonymous with resilience. If you're alive and you're watching this video, you're not done yet. Failure can offer you a fresh new angle and perspective, but only if you allow it to. It's so much easier to just make excuses to everything. Here's some examples. "I can't go out with her, she's out of my league." "Oh, it's too competitive." "I'm too stupid." "I don't have the contacts to network." "I'm simply not good enough." "I was born to fail." "I'm so unlucky." "I live in the wrong city." All these awful excuses, despite being slightly true, aren't going to help you. Anyone can make excuses. And they never built a statue of the person that always made excuses. What if you offered yourself a fresh perspective? So maybe said the following in contrast to all of what I just said. Instead of "she's out of my league," say "she isn't the one, there's plenty of fish in the sea." Or "competition is good, if they can do it, so can I." "I need to gain more knowledge." "I must network more." "I am good enough." "I was born to win." "I'm extremely fortunate, lucky to be alive." Hell, I'm lucky to live where I live. And even if it doesn't suit me, I can go anywhere I want in the world. This is not just positive thinking, it's a new angle, a new perspective. Netflix started out as a video delivery service. You would get the VHS videos delivered to you straight to your door from Netflix. But as the digital age was growing, Netflix had an out-of-touch business model. "We're doomed to fail," said some former board members of Netflix. But they got with the times. They changed their business model to streaming online. What Netflix is now, compared to what it started from, is chalk and cheese. And at the point of me recording this, Netflix are one of the largest streaming companies, in fact one of the largest companies on earth. All because of one thing. Yes, they changed strategy, but mainly they changed perspective. Lastly, a great thing about being a failure is that you get the chance to overcome fear. Anxiety and fear are crippling to our lives, our development. Therefore, failure is an excuse for you to try again. I was afraid to date again after a very bitter breakup. But I picked myself up and I'm excited genuinely to be out there again. When my business failed, I was afraid to work for myself anymore. I didn't trust myself. Again, I conquered my fear. I started believing myself. I'm so glad I did. You wouldn't be watching this video if I didn't. You need to face your fears head on. Like that guy I said who went out and asked 100 women out. You can do it. Rejection's a part of life. You can't win all the time. Not everyone is going to like us all the time. Not everything is going to magically fall on our lap. Nothing great was ever achieved quickly, overnight, regardless of what you've been told. There is no such thing as get rich quick, an overnight success, become a millionaire overnight, become famous overnight. You got to keep showing up. You got to keep doing the work. You got to stay consistent. You got to keep believing in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. Forget how others are doing it. Whether it's faster or they've got better looks, better contacts, whatever. It don't matter. All that matters is you and your mindset. There are millions of people every single day overcoming a phobia and a fear, taking a leap of faith, staring rejection in the face, ready to tackle failure head on. And they won't back down, even if they lose again. Be that person. Those are the great things about being a failure. Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, like and subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, here's some more content you might be interested in.